Update from down south, down where we're going, down in Anaheim with the Angels Magic #2. The Yankees are leading the Angels 2-1 in the bottom half of the third inning. I think that the Mariners would just as soon have this thing settled by the time they get there, but that remains to be seen. Let's look at today's lineups, Mike.
For the Mariners today, you have Ichiro, Betancourt, Ibanez, Lopez, Reed hitting 5th today in the lineup. Valentin, Tuiasa, Sopo getting his 2nd start in a row. Jojima and Cairo hitting 9th. Take a look at the Rangers. Laird leading off. Duran, Young, Hamilton, Bird, Blaylock, Cruz, Davis, and Teagarden is hitting 9th.
So the Mariners and the Texas Rangers had an absolutely lovely afternoon. The final meeting of the year between these two ball clubs. Back with more right after this. From Safeco Field, Seattle Mariners baseball on FSN is brought to you by Money Tree. Visit moneytreeinc.com for a location near you. Money Tree. Choices are good. By Lithia Assured Cars and Trucks. A better car buying experience starts at lithia.com. And by Banner Bank. Better ideas, better bank. Nice day to be at the beach. Nice day to be here at Safeco Field for the finale between the Mariners and the Texas Rangers. The sunshiny afternoon with the shadows to be figuring in a little bit later on. As we look at Cesar Jimenez, a young man who's had his physical problems, getting his first start of the year. What do you expect from him?
Well, I think that we've seen pretty good stuff out of him at times. It's really going to come down to his command, and when he's pitched effectively out of the bullpen, that has been it. Sometimes guys change a little bit when they get a start as opposed to coming out of the pen, so hopefully he can command the strike zone early. The defense behind him today, you have Ibanez, Valentin, and Ichiro in the outfield. Tuiasa, Sopo at third, Betancourt, Lopez, and Cairo across the infield. Kenji's getting the start behind the plate, and Jimenez is on the mound.
So the 23-year-old out of Venezuela at 5'11", 215 pounds, will deal to Gerald Laird, the designated hitter, this afternoon, hitting .289. Laird did not appear in last night's ball game. We are underway. And the home plate umpire, Brian Knight, calling a strike. 0-1 the count. And that's a little bit low, and so the count at 1-1. 62 degrees. A cool but very pleasant afternoon here in the Northwest. And a breaking ball that's fouled away by Laird. Texas already has clinched the season series against the Mariners. They are 11-7 against Seattle with the win last night. Jimenez with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball that's too high. When you're in a game like this and you know you're going to be using your bullpen in sequence, maybe 3, maybe 4 pitchers. Perhaps the pitch count is not a big thing as it is with a regular start.
Right, I would agree with that. I think it's more innings that you're talking about at this point, and you have to take a look at the pitch count, of course, but I think you're just trying to piece together innings.
Laird goes around, tries to hold up, and he can't do it, so he's down on the 3-2 pitch.
And I think Jim has a real good idea of how many innings he wants to get out of Jimenez, probably who's already going to follow him regardless of who's coming to the plate for the first couple of guys, and then he'll mix and match later on in the game like he normally would. But he basically is trying to get through 5 or 6 innings right now with the bullpen, and you'll see the guys that normally pitch at the back end of it doing just that today.
This is Herman Duran, a second baseman, just recently called up. Last night it was Joaquin Arias who got the start at second base, and the delivery is outside ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. But Ian Kinsler, the regular second baseman, out for the year, and that's going to be a tough play. Barehanded throw at first base. Nice play by Lopez.
A A really nice play by Jose. Kind of a check swing, and he comes in with the bare hand. Nice, easy, accurate throw. Nice play by Lopez.
Michael Young will be the hitter now, while the Mariners head to Anaheim. Texas will be opening up a 4-game series in Oakland tomorrow night. Oakland playing a day game. Matter of fact, their game is over in Detroit. It's a little outside. Ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes as they knock off the Detroit Tigers 5-2 at Comerica Park today. One and one. Tampa Bay and Boston, another big game at Fenway Park in Boston tonight after the Rays came from behind and beat the Red Sox last night. Two and two on Michael Young.
So far early in the game, Jimenez, one of the things that's going to be important, especially to the right-handed hitters, is to pitch inside. He's moved Laird off the plate, and now Young. It's going to help his changeup.
Got it. Good sinking fastball. So a 1-2-3 first inning for Cesar Jimenez. And we are underway. The Mariners coming up against Kevin Millwood. A 33-year-old right-hander out there on the hill. A loser in his last outing against the Boston Red Sox, but he was something 3 starts prior to that. And let's look at the lineups, Mike.
For the Mariners, you have Ichiro, Betancourt, Ibanez, Lopez, Reed hitting 5th. Had a good night last night. Balancing Tuiasosopo, Kenji's hitting 8th, and Cairo's hitting 9th. Rico scouting report on Millwood. You can see at times he can have a pretty good fastball. Likes to move it in and out. He's going to throw. He can throw anywhere from 115, 120 pitches to get through this thing. And the defense behind him today have Bird, Hamilton, Cruz, Davis, Young, Duran, Blaylock over at first. Teagarden is behind the plate. Kevin Millwood is on the mound.
Millwood with a 3-game winning streak snapped in his last outing on Friday against the Boston Red Sox back in Arlington, as the Red Sox beat him by a score of 8-1. As Ichiro steps in and pulls the ball down the right field line, and it's foul.
First pitch fastball, and Ichiro pulls it down the line, hooks it, just foul.
A little bit outside, ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Millwood's one of those guys, when you go up to the plate, you figure, I'm going to get a pitch to hit. What I do with it's another thing.
I would agree with that. You're definitely going to get a fastball off of him.
And that ground ball to third base, and a great play by Davis, but he throws it into the runner, and we'll wait and see how they score it. That's going to be a base hit. And Ichiro's 187 is another infield hit.
That's a nice play by Davis, diving to his left. It looks like it's a pretty good throw, too. He tries to bounce it. He did that on purpose. And Blaylock, who's normally a third baseman, doesn't come up with the play. You can see him just slap it over to the left side of the infield.
Yeah. Yay, Ichiro!
So Ichiro fans, and now he is 13 hits away from 200. And he goes. The pitch is outside. Throw into center field. He'll get up and head to third. Terrible throw by Teagarden. Way on the first base side, and the bag at second. So a stolen base by Ichiro, his 41st. And, of course, a throwing error by the rookie Taylor Teagarden.
Doesn't quite get his arm on top of this throw, and the ball sails really wide. Durant, no chance to even come up with it.
One ball, no strikes to count on Uni. Uni takes a strike one. You may have noticed, at least I have, in the last week or so, he's getting a little bit deeper into counts.
Well, definitely it was evident last night. I think he was, last couple of ABs, he saw 5 pitches.
Maybe I spoke too soon. 1 and 2.
No. And this at bat alone, he's going to see 4.
And that'll get a run in. The infield back, Michael Young will throw him out. Uni picks up his 42nd RBI. The Mariners have a 1-0 lead.
Ichiro.
Abanez the hitter now. A .364 hitter against Kevin Millwood. And that ball lofted straight away left field. Marlon Byrd, no problem with that. Millwood, until he signed with Texas last year, was very much courted by the Mariners as a free agent. Too high to Jose Lopez, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. One hopper. Chris Davis will throw him out. The Mariners do get a run, and 1 run and an earned run on 1 hit and 1 error and nobody left. 1-0 Mariners. In Texas, as we check our banner bank, building to the future note, what a start for that man who will pitch tomorrow against the Angels in Anaheim. As you know, 7 2/3 innings of hitless baseball against the Yankees. So our salute to Brandon Morrow, who will start tomorrow night. Morrow will be opposed by Jared Weaver of the Halos. Josh Hamilton has taken a ball outside, and the next pitch fouled on the first baseline. 1-1. Is this guy your MVP so far with 3 weeks to go?
I think so. I think Pedroia is making a pretty good push at that, but and he may get it, but for me, yes, I'd go with Hamilton.
How about you? On him. Yeah, I kind of like his power numbers and RBIs.
And he's hitting 300. I mean, it's tough to pick anything apart in his game this year. He's been very good, very consistent.
Strike. And the count is full. Bedoya doesn't have the power or the RBIs. He's got the batting average. That's the other thing Bedoya's got going for him, I would think. And a lot of people put a lot of weight on this. The fact that he's going to be in the postseason.
I think that's true. I think the fact that he's in the East Coast is going to help him too.
yeah. He scored the most runs in the league, has the most hits in the league. And he lost it. And Marlon Byrd, the left fielder, will be the hitter. Our radio chat with Jim Riggleman on his radio show before the game. We were talking about Beltre. He's not sure when Beltre is going to be back. Beltre, we understand, is seeing the doctor today. And a decision will be made on whether or not he will have the surgery now or later or at all. And that's a strike at the knees. But the other news to come out of our chat with him is the fact that Jeff Clement, his surgery yesterday, surgery was a little bit more extensive than they thought it would be. And they wanted him to go down and play baseball in the instructional league. Nothing real serious. And the breaking ball is down low. Ball one ball and one strike, but the recovery time is going to be a little bit longer than they thought, and he will be ready for spring training, but I guess it was a little bit more extensive.
So there's no winter ball for him at all?
No. Two and one on Marlon Byrd. And a base hit into right center field over the leaping Jose Lopez, and the Rangers now with runners at first and second. I would think as a kid who signs, whether it be out of high school or college, a professional contract, the constant beat of a baseball game from February until October in most cases, and then after that for 3 or 4 years as a kid into Winter League ball or into the shorter instructional league or something like that would finally begin to wear on you. And after 3 or 4 years, I don't want to play winter ball anymore.
I can tell you that when I was coming up through the minor leagues and I'd gotten to a point where it looked like I was going to get an opportunity somewhere, it was just that. I played my AA season, which was a full year, went through spring training the season, went into the instructional league, went from the instructional league to Mexico and played winter ball there. And for me, as much as I loved to play the game, I was put on the 40-man roster, and I was home within 2 days. You know, just because it was enough. It was
right.
That's a lot of baseball.
Blaylock has a strike on him and pulls this one foul down the right field line. 2 strikes. Yeah, I can see that.
And I know that there's some guys that really enjoy playing Winter League baseball. They go down and they play. But I think you do that for 2 or 3, 4 years, and that's enough.
Now, Latin kids, the kids from Venezuela and the kids from the Dominican almost feel obliged when they go home to at least.
Well, the fans expect them to.
Cameo appearance.
Sure. The fans expect them to. Yeah, and you know, a lot of the guys, especially the established major leaguers, they don't play a full season. They'll come out and play 3 weeks or a month, usually towards playoff time.
Blaylock, did he glow? I think he did go. So Blaylock is down on strikes, and that little slider tried to hold up, and he couldn't do it.
This has been a good pitch for him, man. As you can see, the break on his slider right there, but that's the pitch that he uses to get lefties out. He uses changeup a little bit more to the right-hander.
And Nelson Cruz, now the hitter, the right fielder. Cruz, who's been red hot with the bat. A little high, ball one ball and no strikes. the runners are going. Throw through the third base. See you later down there, Josh Hamilton. So, double steal attempt. Didn't work.
Looked like he had a decent jump. Nice throw by Kenji. Gets rid of it quickly. See Matt put the tag on him.
2-0 the count on Nelson Cruz. So I hope you got to see last night's game, particularly in the third inning. Nelson Cruz hit that ball into the hole on the outfield grass, and Betancourt made that spectacular play on him to get him at first base. Good a play as I've ever seen.
He was the #1 highlight all over the country last night. Great play.
That's down low and inside. Ball 3, 3-1. And he lost it. So the second walk in the inning. And Chris Davis, the third baseman, will be the hitter. And a breaking ball for a strike. You might see the S in the Mariner cap with the patriotic colors in it. And I'm not exactly sure why they are wearing that cap today, but we can conjecture a fastball, a swing and a miss, since they are not home tomorrow on the infamous 9/11. They are wearing it on 9/10 and probably will wear it again tomorrow on 9/11 down in Anaheim to remember 9/11/01. And that's strike 3 call right on the outside corner. So 4 strikeouts for Jimenez, and 2 left out there for Texas. Go to the bottom of the second. Still 1-0. Safeco Field, where we move into the second inning of play, and Jeremy Reed is the designated hitter this afternoon for the Mariners against the right-hander, against Kevin Millwood. And it's punched down the left field line, and that's going to be a fair ball. And Jeremy's going to dig for 2 to throw to second base offline. He's in with a double. Marlon Byrd, that throw on line, has probably got a heck of a shot at getting it, but it was offline.
Take a look at the swing by Jeremy. Hits it off the end of the bat. You don't always have to hit a bullet. You'll take that one. Nice hustle into second base. Would have been a tough play, I think. See the barehanded throw. The outfielders aren't used to doing that.
And Vladimir Valentin, who's 2 for 2 with a home run against Millwood, will be the hitter. Can't help but think about 9/11 tomorrow in 01. As fate would have it, irony would have it, the Mariners will be in Anaheim, the same place they were on that fateful day in 2001. Pitch is high, ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes.
Wasn't with you guys then. What was the reaction to everybody down? I know it was tough to get out of there.
I was awakened about 6:45, 7 o'clock in the morning by a phone call from Ron Fairley, who lives down in the desert. And breaking balls outside. I was asleep, and he said, "Turn on the television set. You're not going to believe what you're about to see." And he explained a little bit of it to me. And everybody was just in a state of shock. I mean, like America, everybody, you know. And I called my wife, and she said, yeah, she'd been watching There's the first base on balls given up by Millwood. So we were stuck down there, I think, for 3 days. And I believe the Mariners were the first plane out of LAX. First plane to take off to come home in a couple of days, because they were all set to bus us from Anaheim back to Seattle.
Really?
Yeah. And they didn't have to. So here's Matt Tuiasosopo. Let's see if they let him swing away or try and whip him up with a bunt here. Question answered. Fouled away.
So far, I think he's looked good at the plate and has a plan. He only has 8 at-bats so far. I've seen him hit a double to right field. This is, how you learn.
That one ate him alive, up and in. I mean, down and in, I should say.
That's a good two-seamer. Probably looked out of his hand like it was going to be on the inside corner and ended up running in off the plate and tied him up. So many times younger players, especially with men in scoring position, they get over anxious. And it's part of the process of learning to hit up here. Got him.
And that nicked him. So just like that, the Mariners now have their sacks jammed with nobody out. Last night, Felix hit 3 to tie a Mariner club record. All in all, 4 hitters were hit as Mark Lowe hit Josh Hamilton. And now the Mariners, with the bases loaded, a 1-0 lead, nobody out here in the second.
Rangers bring the corners up. Young and Duran play back for the double play.
Again, this is a situation, if you're a Mariner fan, a strike on the outside corner, you got to think, I've got to come away with at least 2 here.
Nobody out. You'd like to see that. See if Kenji, even if he makes an out, it's a productive out.
And he's still leading the Angels 2-1 in the 5th in Anaheim. Kenji pulls it down the left field line, right near the corner, and that baby is going to be a foul ball. As we check it on our Coors Light freeze frame cam, have a look at it and see how foul it was. Mighty close, wasn't it? Man alive. Inches. That's our Coors Light freeze can.
I think that one ended up getting a piece of everybody. Fouled it off, hit the catcher and the umpire.
And that's lined into right center field for a base hit. So that's going to get you your 2 runs and still nobody out as the throw comes through to the plate. And the Mariners lead it 3-0 as Jojima punches one into right center. Kenji picking up his 28th and 29th RBIs of the year. And alertly, Tuiasosopo going from first to third.
And you can see it was just looked like almost a 3/4 swing on a fastball that was away from him, and hits a nice little line drive into center field.
Ichiro is the hitter. Outside ball one ball on those strikes. Mariners, of course, had their highest hit total of the year against Texas on Labor Day. The 20 hit game that they won 12-6. Adrian Beltre's cycle game. And that's going to be in this shallow center field, and the runners are going to have to hold as Hamilton makes the catch out there. So one away. The last BECU half price family night is going to be Monday, September the 22nd. That's when the Mariners take on the Angels. You can save big if your reserved seats are just $10. For tickets, you can visit mariners.com. Great day to be at the ballpark. Ichiro had the little infield hit to third in the first inning. Hits away from Wee Willie Keeler, the only man in history to have 8 consecutive 200 hit seasons. There you go. Of course, the all-time record 262 established in 04, breaking George Sisler's mark. Most number of hits in a season. I think in terms of Wee Willie Keeler, and of course he was way before our time, but he had that more about Wee Willie hit them where they ain't Keeler. And in a way, Ichiro is just the opposite. A lot of times he hits them where they are and just outruns them.
Exactly, especially at the beginning of his career when he first came to the Mariners. A lot of infield hits.
And into the lower deck. Out of play. Milwaukee knocking off Cincinnati 4-3. The Cubs don't play until tonight at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. And the Giants are leading the Diamondbacks 2-1 in the fourth. As all of a sudden the Dodgers are taking a little bit command of that National League West with a 2.5 game lead. The Dodgers only 3 games over 500. Ground ball foul at the first baseline. Would be something if Joe Torre won the whole thing his first year.
It really would be. If they make it into the postseason, how much of the credit's going to go to Manny Ramirez?
Oh my gosh! Yeah. punched on a line to third. The dive with the bag. The unassisted double play as they double off Matt Tuiasosopo at third base. So the double play, 5 unassisted. The Mariners get 2 runs, and as we go to the third, they lead it 3-0. The Northwest, Dave Niehaus along with Mike Blowers. Nice to have you with us. Nice to have had you with us all year long. Hope you've had fun playing our Aflac trivia question, and it's time for that right now. And Gary Sheffield, his second home run on Monday was a milestone home run for Major League Baseball. Which milestone was reached? 100,000, 250,000, $500,000, or $1 million?
Go Mariners, yeah!
As Tyler Teagarden steps in and takes the breaking ball down low and inside. Ball 1 ball and no strikes to count. Cesar Jimenez has been affected the first couple of innings. He's walked a couple. This kid has shown he's got some punch in his bat. 1-1. I'm going to guess $1 million.
$1 million.
Two and one to count. I don't know. If I get it, I'll be lucky. I'm just stabbing the dark.
I'm going to say 500,000.
And there's that power we were talking about, but it's going to die out there in left center field. Valentin gets over and makes the catch.
Peanuts, Cracker Jacks, Kettle Corn, Red
What do you
Barn
think
here.
on average, big league average for home runs is these days for a team, one team? 150, 160?
Yeah, I would say around that. Yeah. Yeah, Bob Watson in 75 scored the 1 million run in history 28 years ago.
1 millionth run.
Right. And 1 to count.
Well, I mean, my thinking on him is the guys hit, as far as team totals go, a lot more home runs than they did back, I guess in the 20s and 30s and 40s. And
Absolutely. It's a dead ball here until Babe Ruth came along.
Right. So, but if it's 150 to 160, you're looking at 5,000 a year. 100 years, 500,000. That might be too high.
Down low and inside, 2 and 1 to count. Jared Wells is apparently going to be the second man up for the Mariners. He's starting to throw down in the pen. And Tui is going to move on to the infield grass to make the catch of that one. Tough high sky here. 2 down. Mariners Knit Cap Day, Saturday, September 27th, a 12:55 game against the A's, and the first 20,000 fans 21 and older receiving a Mariners Knit Cap, courtesy of Casino Snoqualmie. You can gear up now for the offseason. For tickets, visit any Mariners team store location. Nice breaking ball to Herman Duran for a strike, 0-1. The Angels have taken the lead 4-2 over the Yankees now in the 5th inning at Angel Stadium in Anaheim. If the Mariners win and the Angels win, it's all over. We will be visiting the Western Division champions tomorrow night. And that's a fly ball. It's going to be taken care of out there by Ibanez as he gets well out there and makes a catch for out number 3 here in the third. 3 up and 3 down, and to the bottom of the third. 3-1. 3-0, I should say. Well, an early 3-0 Mariner lead, moving into the bottom half of the third inning on this beautiful afternoon. And Yudieski Betancourt, who grounded out to shortstop, 0 for 1, will start it off here in the bottom half of the third against Kevin Millwood. The guy from North Carolina misses high with his pitch. Ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Still like the Angels all the way?
Yes, I do. You? You like Boston, don't you?
Yeah, I kind of do. Kind of do because of their experience. Maybe a little bit because of their mystique. Because of what has happened in the last 3 years with them. I'm not pulling for Boston. I'm pulling for the Angels, but I think anybody probably would like the team from their division that has won their division to win it all.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Wasn't it? Weren't we in Anaheim last year when they clinched it?
I forget.
I think we were.
And down low. So base on balls, leadoff base on balls, and now the answer. I think a very interesting trivia question this afternoon. Sheffield, his second home run on Monday, a milestone home run for Major League Baseball. What was the milestone? $250,000. 250,000 home runs.
Felt like my 500,000 was too high. I told you that, and I should have changed it.
Well, you only missed it by 250. I missed it by 750. There are your milestone home runs, by the way.
I know, but didn't want to give Curtis the credit of beating us on a handful of these trivia questions this year.
Want to know the count on Raul Ibanez. Took 9 years for the last 50,000 home runs. From Paul O'Neill to Gary Sheffield. And that's a fly ball into left center field. And that's going to be over the head of the center fielder, Josh Hamilton. So Betancourt's going to steam around third. He's going to score. And the Mariners have the 4-0 lead. On a Raul Ibanez double, his 103rd RBI of the year.
Raul hits this one right on the barrel, and Hamilton's first move was in. I think because it was a line drive, it fooled him a little bit, took a step in, and by the time he figured it out, he wasn't able to get back in time. Betancourt, as we know, runs well and was able to score from first.
So Jose Lopez, the hitter now. Mariners now with their 4th hit. 3 of the 4 hits doubles. And for Raul Ibanez, by the way, that's his 40th double, which is a career high. That'll move the runner to third base as Duran throws out Jose Lopez. Jeremy Reed dropped one down the left field line, just fair for a double, a leg double last inning. Infield up for Texas. Jeremy will be going home to Southern California for the next 4 days, where he Went to school at Long Beach State. And with the infield up, he's jammed. You can see how tough that sunshine is over there. Chris Davis really has to shade his eyes, but he makes the catch.
Reminds me a little bit of when we get to spring training every year and how difficult the sun is in the high sky. It's that kind of day here.
Valentin walked. Good 94-mile-an-hour fastball that time. Just challenged him.
It was the best fastball we've seen out of Millwood today. He's been around 90 miles an hour, so he really jumped that one up there to 94.
Another one, but it's inside. Jared Wells in the bullpen. He may be taking over in the fourth. And an easy pop up on the right side of the infield. Herman Duran will drift onto the outfield grass and make the catch. However, the Mariners get one more here in the third. And as we go to the fourth, they have the 4-0 advantage.
Innings, Jim Riggleman's plan to let the bullpen get it done. It's off to a terrific start as Cesar Jimenez gives the Mariners 3 really good innings. Dave Sims and Mike Flowers. Good start for the fellas here today.
Well, at bullpen by committee, you never know what you're going to get. The first part of that, I think, as you look at those numbers, was a success. Wells is going to take over now, and we'll see how he does. But that's the difficult part about it is Jimenez is on a run. Of course, he hasn't been starting, so he's close to 50 pitches. It's time for him to get out. But now Jared Wells will take things over. You just have to hope the guys come out throwing strikes. You know, that's the biggest thing. And you know, when you have to go to so many relievers, typically somebody's going to have an off day, and you hope that's not the case, because right now he's trying to piece it together with the lead now, I'm sure, to get to the back end of the bullpen, which means get these guys through 6 innings.
Ideally, Jim Riggleman was talking about before the game, Jimenez, Wells, Green, Corcoran, Batista, Putz. That would be his order, if you will. We'll see how it goes. But Jimenez did a real nice job. 1 hit, 4 strikeouts, couple of walks. Here's Michael Young to lead it off. Michael Young, Josh Hamilton, and Marlon Byrd.
3 innings pitched, 1 hit, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts.
Really good numbers. Jared Wells, Mikey right-hander, wears his pants and socks in the old-fashioned knickers way. 1-1 to Michael Young. Way upstairs. 48 pitches, 25 strikes for Jimenez in his second major league start. Last start goes all the way back to September of '06 against Oakland. Bouncing ball back to Wells, and he retires. Michael Young. 1 out here in the fourth. The largest selection of MLB gear on the internet. Here's where you go. You shop 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at Mariners.com. Find all you need for the baseball fans in your life at Mariners.com. Here's Josh Hamilton. That Ibanez drive back in the third was one of those uh-ohs. I got it. No, I don't. Right at him and took the 1.5 in, and
that was it.
Oh boy. At President's box. Beautiful day for baseball. Good crowd on hand too. Day baseball, what a concept. I remember 12, 13 years old, and my mother let me, Phillies had a day game, and want to go with your friends, and I was old enough to do it. I thought it was like one of the coolest things. There's a drive to deep right field, but Ichiro's right there. See that? Pretty cool. Get on the bus and the subway. Go to,
by yourself?
Went with a couple of fellas, yeah.
How old were you?
12, 13 years old. Why are you laughing?
Oh, I was thinking of my boy. He's going to be 12 here shortly.
That's what I figured.
And there's no way. There is no way.
I thought that's why you were laughing.
He certainly thinks he could do it. There's no doubt about that, but no chance.
You don't want to have to answer to Mama on that one day.
Things have certainly changed,
yes,
haven't
they
they?
have. Here's Marlon Byrd. Talked to Marlon right before the game. I said, hey, man, I really appreciate what you did yesterday because you could have sent Felix into next week.
Yeah, did he talk about that?
He said, you know what? He was there. I saw he was right there. He's a good kid. It's not a pennant race. What was I going to do that for?
Right.
So I said, hey, dude, good job. Because, if he had come in hard and clean, it would have been a legit play. But he did a heck of a job. 4-0 Mariners. Meeting with the Rangers for 2008. Every Friday night at Safeco Field, one lucky fan's going to win a trip for 2 to Las Vegas. Not bad. The trip includes airfare and hotel for 3 days, 2 nights in Vegas. Next Vegas getaway giveaway takes place on Fan Appreciation Night. That's Friday, September 26th, when the Mariners host the A's. For your tickets, go to Mariners.com. Kevin Millwood, first pitch to Matt Tuiasa's Sopo, misses for ball 1. Tui was hit 5 pitches last time up. Ball and strike. Rangers win last night 7-3. Tonight Felix Hernandez was not at the top of his game.
It happens.
Yes, it does. Even the guys over in the Rangers. What happened? What was his body language last night?
He just looked like he was fighting himself to me. For getting frustrated because he wasn't able to command his fastball. Listen, we talked about it earlier that he hit 3 batters. He hit him with every pitch. Fastball, a breaking ball on one, and I think a changeup on the other. It's just his command wasn't there, and he was frustrated by it. It happens.
Back up the middle. That'll find its way to center field. A base hit from Matt Tuiasa's Sopo. Got it on a 3-1 pitch off the veteran Kevin Millwood.
We talked about Matt a little bit today. You see fastball away from him, hits it right back up the middle. Did a nice job last month that he was in AAA. Was really hot, and now he's up here, has a couple of hits, getting a chance to play a little bit with Adrian on the shelf.
Same theme. Talking to him, he says, hey, second half, I let the game come to me. Yeah. Slow it down.
Yeah, you have to learn that sometimes. Experience certainly helps.
That is, that's across the board in any athletic endeavor, and it's just interesting to hear how each guy gets to that point in baseball, football, and basketball, and all travels that down. It's fascinating. Said about midway through the seasons, Kenji tries to drop one down foul. Tui said, again, just the theme you were talking about with Felix, stop fighting myself. Just take everything back up the middle. Stop trying to pull a lot of things. You just try to get the ball away and go up the middle. If you do get something inside, make sure you turn on it, but not an overemphasis on trying to yank everything to the left side.
Right. I think the hardest part, and I think it's especially true for somebody like Matt, who signed out of high school, for example. His entire life he was the best player on the team. That's just the way it is. Best player in the area, probably maybe one of the best players in the state. As you see this fly ball out to right field. And he hasn't struggled. You know, and then all of a sudden you're playing this game every day against a bunch of other guys that were the best players in their area, and things change, and you move up, you know, the chain. You go A ball, double A, and then triple A, and eventually you're going to hit that place where you struggle and you have to deal with it the first time. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time, but that's what it's all for. That's what it's all about. That's why these guys are getting a chance to play now here.
Yeah, Jim Riggleman said before the game that that's one of the the keys. You know, if we win some games now, that's great, but the experience for these guys to take the awe away of it, just let them be, you know, the athletes that they are. It's going to build for next year and the year after.
Well, and it also helps Jim and the coaching staff and the people in the front office to evaluate people at this level too.
Strike one to Miguel Cairo, flying out the center. First at bat.
And the other thing, Dave, too, I was talking about was when you look at that, and when we're talking about evaluating, it's not just looking at what a guy's batting average is or his ERA. It's how he handles himself. What is he like in the clubhouse? How does he handle himself on the field? Different situations. It doesn't mean he has to go out and hit 300 or strike everybody out coming out of the pen or whatever the case may be. It's how they handle the different situations.
Shattered bat pop up. Duran is there. 2 outs. And it's an interesting group dynamic. You're a family of 25 in the coaching staff from what, mid-March, mid to late March through September, and better be able to exist in that family dynamic, not be a jerk. To be totally base with it. That's what it's talking about.
Well, exactly.
Because if you're a blank fill in, use your own adjective, it's not going to work.
No. You know, as a young player, are you willing to come out early and do the extra work? And, you know, are you self-motivated to do those things, or does somebody constantly have to come by and drag you out of your locker? You know, they evaluate all of those things, and they're all important.
How about being on time?
Being on time.
Josh Hamilton playing in left center field. Ichiro beats that shift anyway. Bird, oh
nice
boy,
play.
He did a heck of a job. He saved extra bases. If that gets under his glove, Tui's going to score, and Ichiro's going to have at least a double.
He'll be standing on third if he gets by him. This is slicing away from him. Does a nice job coming over and has to really reach. He was close to getting by him, but he makes a nice play to cut it off. Saved a run.
Here's Mr. Betancourt. Ernie with a good start to today's action. An infield ground out for an RBI, and he walked. 3-1 pitch. Uni his 13th walk. He's got 4 in the last couple of weeks. Done a nice job batting out of the 2-hole. Taylor Teagarden going out to speak with Kevin Millwood. Millwood is so glad to be back in action. DL'd a couple of times with groin pulls. Really a frustrated guy. I know last year, every time we teed it up against Texas, he was there. Off the end of the bat. It's only the 3rd time he's faced the Mariners this year. Last year, Millwood faced the Mariners 6 times, went 2-3 with a 5.21 ERA. That's what he's done to this point. And he's been laying off that pitch of late for the most part. 1-1. Updated career numbers. Includes this year's action. Opening day March 31st and then May 5th. Down the line but foul. Millwood's had a nice career. 1998 Atlanta 17-8. 1999 he went 18-7. So a 2-year stretch. That's pretty doggone good. 35-15. Third year with Texas, won 16 games in 06, 10 last year. bouncing ball. It stays foul. The other thing that's interesting about Millwood, too, you look at his numbers. He's a guy that can get you over 200 innings. He went 228, 212, 217, 222, 215 in his career. Injuries slowed him down a little bit. Last year, 172, and he had 141 with Philly back in 04.
At one point, he threw pretty hard, too. It was a really good fastball. And I think he went a couple of years where he struck out a couple hundred batters.
Yeah, but a no-no against the Giants. He was with the Phillies in 03. 1-2 to Betancourt. 2 outs, 2 on. Teagard's taking a look. Got to play. Last 3 months, nice progression by Mr. Betancourt. Taking more pitches and going a lot more selective.
And with that, you see the higher batting averages. I hope that's something that he can think about going into next year.
He's strong too, boy. He can. It's a good at bat here.
You ever caught a foul ball in the stadium as a fan?
No. I've been close. I can remember. Oh God, this is ages ago. Old Connie Mack Stadium. And Philly got close a couple times. No. Never had those bullets. It would. I think the couple times it was close, it was out down the left field line, and you get that. By the time a lot of steam is off it by then. Thank goodness. Tell you what, if I were going to sit in one of these really good seats near the dugout, I might have a hockey mask on.
At least have a glove with you, right?
What's that?
At least have your glove with you.
Yeah, minimum.
I'd bring my glove anyways, just because I don't want to try to catch it with my bare hand and miss it. I want to get the ball. Bring my glove.
And protect those around you. Good battle here. Betancourt and Millwood. 1-2, 2 on. 2 outs. Boy, how about beauty?
He's giving away a lot of souvenirs today.
Pitch number 9 coming up. Tuya Sissoko at second. Ichiro at first. Swing and a miss. Betancourt goes down swinging. Mariners nothing across in the 4th. Maintain a 4-0 lead. They get a run in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third. Bullpen by committee today. And we go back to the starters tomorrow with Brendan Morrow coming off that fine performance against the Yankees on Friday. Jared Weaver will be his opponent. Weaver 10-10, 4.42 ERA.
Be anxious to see Brandon tomorrow and see how he bounces back after that awesome outing against the Yankees. Just for the fact that he's thrown over 100 pitches. And see how he feels in Anaheim tomorrow.
Jim Riggleman talking about that performance. He brought up a very interesting point. Here's I think Blaylock about Morrow flirting with the no-hitter. Talked about Nolan Ryan with, what do you throw, 7, 8 no-hitters? So
yes.
If you check the records, we're going to do this.
7.
Yeah, 7 sounds right. The next start after that, he got ripped up pretty good. So that's 7 times where he had some really subpar performances. So curious when I take a look at some of those numbers.
Well, how many days will it be? When did he pitch against the Yankees?
Day.
It'll be a 6th day, so that'll help. And they'll probably, I wouldn't be surprised to see him get him out a little bit early. But yeah, that's, I wouldn't be surprised by that. I think you're out and you're pitching, you're obviously feeling good that day and throwing well to get to a certain point. Then when you get out, I think most of them know what's going on, and I heard Brandon say that he was certainly aware of the situation. But you get into the 6th inning, and just the concentration and the adrenaline of that and trying to make it work, the next game has to be a letdown, doesn't it?
No
you
question.
go out and you give up a base hit in the 1st. And
oh, man. Here's Nelson Cruz. Strike 1. Jared Wells, the second pitcher for the Mariners. Cesar Jimenez, nice job. 3 innings of 1 hit ball. Walked 2, struck out 4. Cruz, a bright young hitter from Texas. That's hit pretty well. Deep right center field. Ballantine going back, looking up, and that's gone. Wow. 2-run homer. Boy, did he hit that a ton.
That was really high. As high as he hit it, I didn't think he had a chance. Just carried.
Home run number 4 for Cruz. It takes his RBI total to 11. Boy, he hit that.
Right in the middle of the plate.
Wow. Serious strength. 4-2 ball game now. Here comes Mel Stottlemyre. So not surprising. Some action in the Mariner bullpen. Randy Messenger starting to heat up. Well, it looked like Cruz was on that back leg. Really generated a lot of power, a lot of lift.
You look at it though, he didn't have much of a stride, much of a leg kick to generate it. He's just a strong guy. As high as he hit that again, now it's a deep part of the ballpark out to right center here.
Yeah, you better get it all.
Yeah. Take a look at it again.
Loads up very nicely.
Yep, not much of a stride. Gets that front foot down early. And as you mentioned, Dave, stays back on his backside and just drives it. It was really high. It looked like just a fly ball to right center.
And Ballantine kept running and running. I said, oh, that's not a good sign. One of the guys on Washington wants to take a good hard look at. Broken bat, slicing drive, left field, base hit. Bat of Chris Davis. Davis. So Ballantine, and then you get a guy right there. Just let's see what the horsies are doing. And oh, you're interrupting me? What are you doing here? I'm looking at the 5th at Belmont. Come on.
That's what it looked like.
Taylor Teagard. Oh, it's about Ferrari or Buick. Oh, okay. We got to narrow it down now. I think you want to go with A.
I don't know what he's looking at, but somebody needs to work with him on the bill of that hat.
He'll hear it from the fellas. He'll be all over.
Struggling a little bit.
They will be all over him. 2 runs in here in the 5th. Teagarden from Team USA, bronze medal winner over in Beijing. Wow. He hit that a long way. Raul's going to watch that one get way out of here. Brother, tie ball game. We've seen him hit 2 home runs. We saw him hit one down in Texas, too. Goodness gracious. Taylor Teagard.
Jim Riggleman will come out.
Goes back to what you said. You get a good performance and you hope as you go to the bullpen, you hope everybody's going to be on, but that's asking for a lot. Got a tie ball game as Taylor Teagard unloads. Mariner lead. Now a tie ball game in the 5th inning as Jared Wells got through the 4th inning 1-2-3 and didn't get anybody out here in the 5th. So Randy Messenger takes over. Gerald Laird full swing as Kenji Jojima took a hit.
1 inning pitch, 3 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned runs, 1
Messenger in his 7th appearance. Laird DHing today. He runs well. Down the line, drops a beauty. Base hit.
I was a little bit surprised to see him leading off today, but as you mentioned, he does run well. Going with that leadoff mentality, dropping a bunt down.
Again, the line for Wells. 1 inning pitch, 3 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 1 walk, 2 home runs.
Checking out Jim Riggleman, checking out his baseball memory. His thought that Nolan Ryan, after a bunch of the 7 no-hitters that he threw, that Ryan got teed up a couple of times, several times afterwards. Not quite the case. There's one occasion, but as we're doing our research, we're trying to get that to you. There was one performance, I'm told, that Ryan threw a no-hitter, and then on 3 days rest came back and went 10 1/3. And got a loss, but he went 10 1/3 three days later. Laird is caught. And Lopez tags him out. Nicely done.
There you go, 10 1/3 on 100 pitches.
So 3 and 3 we're told after his 7 no-hitters, and 1 of the no-hitters came at the end of the season. So that's not bad.
No.
And all the wins were complete games. Look at this. Unreal.
I'd like to find out how many pitches he'd thrown in those games.
Fly ball center field. Well, Dave Niehaus always talks about what, that one game he threw close to 200 pitches or something.
Right.
Two down here in the 5th.
Special talent there.
Postcard shot. Puget Sound. Ferry. The Ferry's in action. There is a ground ball. Cairo had to get over. He thought about making the play himself. Lopez gave him time to get back. Beautiful day here in Seattle. We got a 4-4 ball game. 5th inning. Loving this day, loving this picture. 4-4 ball game here at Safeco Field. And the Mariners and PACCAR, they're teaming up once again. For every RBI recorded this season, PACCAR will donate $100 to Page Ahead Literacy, a nonprofit organization that provides new books free of charge to at-risk children here in Washington. Glad you could join us, everybody. Matinee baseball. Safeco Field of the Raul Ibanez, Jose Lopez, Jeremy Reed here in the 5th inning against Kevin Millwood. Millwood gave up an unearned run in the 1st inning, 2 runs in the 2nd, and 1 in the 3rd. Got out of a jam in the 4th, and then his teammates came up with 4 runs on 4 hits in the top of the 5th inning. Good breaking ball, 2-1. Check that 1-2.
Did you see Nolan Ryan pitch much?
I remember him in '69, World Series, the playoffs. After that, not that much, especially after he left New York to come to the American League. But enough. And then I remember seeing him. Oh, and eats up Blaylock. Raul's going to take the turn. He'll make second. Boy, what a vicious hop off of Hank Blaylock. 2-base hit for Raul Ibanez, his 41st.
Take a look at it. Raul hits it pretty hard, and this last hop right here comes up hard, hits him right in the shoulder.
Headed all the way, and then it was gone. 2-base hit. Opportunity for Lopez. Get a base hit, or at the very least hit to the right side and move Raul over to 3rd.
I asked you about Nolan Ryan because as a kid myself, and coming up, you obviously hear, and I've seen him on TV, and about the strikeouts and the no-hitters and all those things. And I remember the first time I saw him in a big league uniform, actually across the field from him, watch him take the mound. My thought was, and I don't know if you recognize, but Nolan, the way he just kind of would stand on the mound, kind of a little bit cockeyed out there and look in with his eyes down, you know. And all I can think about is, you know what? That's what Nolan Ryan should look like. That is. I was like, this cat is cool. You know, just looking at him. He seemed like he was fully aware of the fact that he knew he was Nolan Ryan. It was great.
They're going to build a statue of me one day. He wasn't kidding.
I just thought it was awesome.
And what was it? You were on deck when he said
he blew out his elbow in the Kingdom. Yeah,
I'm done.
Yeah, that was. I didn't like seeing that at all. Watching him walk off the field like that. But wow.
President of these Texas Rangers. Try to remake the culture, the pitching culture, because this team get hit. The ballpark is made for it.
Well, as we've talked about with the Rangers, especially the guys out in the pen, they have a bunch of guys in the pen that throw hard. Really good fastballs out there. I don't know what you have to do. You know, it's just, I don't know if it's a mindset or what. Their ballpark, they're certainly at a disadvantage, the guys that are on the mound.
Hope he does his job. It's to the right side. Herman throws him out. One out with Raul at third. And Gerald Laird, we were talking to him before the game. Is, man, to your point about not free agents. He says, no. He says, every time when I'm catching there, he says, I have to change my sweatshirt every 2 innings. And then guys come up and say, dude, how do you play in this heat? How do you catch in this heat? Come on. So now you're talking about better develop your own. That's what they're going to try to do. Infield in. One out for Jeremy Reed. Blaylock through his legs. Ibanez scores. That'll be an E3 on Hank Blaylock.
This one goes right through his legs. So far, a tough inning for Hank. That one does the opposite. It looked like it hit the lip of the grass and just stayed down.
Boy, those shades of 1886. Bill Buckner.
Anybody that's played the infield has had a ball go through their legs, and there's no worse feeling than to have that happen. But it happens to everybody.
This is an inning where it's really finding Hank. Second Texas error. Teagarden, a throwing error back in the first after Ichiro stole second. Texas thought something might be on. Allenzian walk, popped out to second base in the second at bat. Mariners back on top 5-4. Runner goes. Swung on. Finding the hole. Yes, sir. Reed goes all the way to third. One out, runners at the corners for the Mariners.
Take a look at the swing of balance and has to pull his hands. It looks like it jams him a little bit. It's the ground ball, but it finds a hole. I think even if Young comes up with that short, he's not going to be able to throw out balance in at first.
One out, runners at the corners, a run in. Mariners have a 5-4 lead. Here's Matt Tuiasosopo, hit by a pitch and singled to center. Matt singled in the fourth. He was ahead in the count 3-1. One and 0 to Tuiasosopo. Rangers tied it. Top of the fifth, couple of 2-run homers. Cruz and Teagarden. Line drive, base hit, RBI for Tui. Reed comes in to score. 6-4 Mariners. Tuiasa Sopo with his first big league RBI. Using the field just like he talked about.
Well, I think it's nice to see him. Nice inside out swing. This is a fastball trying to run in on him, and he doesn't try to do too much. Overswing, just hits a nice line drive into right field. Nice piece of hitting.
Tui 2 for 2 today. Hit by a pitch. Adrian Beltre set out last night and this afternoon after undergoing an MRI. He had to get it left thumb area injected with a dye. So pretty invasive. Could not have felt good. Let him heal up, and we'll more than likely see him down in Anaheim. Kenji Jojima singled in a couple of runs back in the second inning. Big breaking ball for strike. Jeremy Reed scored 2 runs today. Cameron Lowe. Tell you what, their bullpen form a heck of an offseason basketball team because everybody's 6'4" and change. Outside, I believe Lowe 6'7". Frank Francisco 6'5".
Right. It has to be 6'5", 6'6".
Every bit. Two to Kenji. Valentin and Tuiasa Sopo, the runners with 1 out. Kenji with 11 hits against Kevin Millwood. .289 hitter against Kevin. 2-2. Down the right field line, but foul.
Nola continues to throw pretty much everything at Kenji, and he's battling. Wants to keep the ball away from him. This will be the 7th pitch.
Mariner RBIs today. Betancourt, Ibanez, Tuiasa Sopo, and 2 for Jojima. Teagarden drawn out for conversation with the veteran. Shadows starting to creep. They're going to take over the batter's box probably in the next 10-15 minutes. Kenji rips one down the line, but foul.
Yeah, good point, Dave. Score some runs now. Once those shadows get out to the grass, the infield grass, it's brutal on the hitters.
My memories of as a youth watching the World Series from Yankee Stadium, and those shadows would creep over and the pitchers would have an advantage. That would just be insane. There's a drive to right. Cruz is there, makes the catch. Runners get back. Kenji with a line drive. It's 2 outs here in the 5th inning. Reminder, this Mariners broadcast is available in Spanish on SAP. How tough is it, though, with coming out of the shadows?
Very tough. You know, hitting the whole thing you're trained and taught to do is to try to pick up the baseball as quickly as you can, and then try to figure out what kind of spin it has on it. I think there are a couple things. One, you lose the spin of the ball, and then two, I think your depth perception on it, where the ball is at, as far as the velocity of it, goes away. It's you're guessing. I mean, you really are just guessing.
Cairo. That evokes another memory, because the year Sandy Koufax, 63 World Series, I want to say game 1, struck out 14. You know, with his stuff, I mean, he could strike out and be as much light as you want. So now, as that game went on, if you get a chance to look at the film,
I've seen it.
It's crazy. And he's got the big bender coming in. He's got 95. He struck out 14. I remember, I think he abused Mantle in that game. 63 World Series. Dodgers won it 4 straight against the Yankees. 1-1 to Cairo. Check that. Full plate umpire Brian Knight. So that last pitch was a strike, so 0-2 to Miguel. Slow breaking ball, and Miguel Cairo is gone, and so are the Mariners. They do pick up an RBI on the Tuiasa Sopo base hit. .com by Taco Del Mar. Get your Mondo made to order burrito today at Taco Del Mar. And by the Emerald Queen Casino, welcoming Mad TV's comedian and impressionist Frank Caliendo. Saturday, September 20th. For tickets, go to emeraldqueen.com. Glad you could join us for a beautiful day of baseball here at Safeco Field. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, and the FSN crew. Top of the 6th inning. Here's Josh Hamilton to lead it off. Hamilton tonight is, or this afternoon, with a walk and a fly out to right. Randy Messenger is the 3rd pitcher. Saw double-barreled action out there. Corcoran and Woods. Three and 1. Saw Randy snap at that return throw. Kenji's angry with himself. 3 and 1. Josh Hamilton. Hamilton walks again. That's the 2nd time. Last evening, Hamilton walked his first 2 times up. The 2nd time was an intentional walk. He got hit by a pitch last night, so he was 1 for 2 last evening. There's Marlon Byrd. Base hit the center, stolen base, and a fly out.
Out Arizona losing 2-1 in the 8th. They might lose 6 in a row. Bad timing. Bad timing, guys.
They were in great shape. They lose this, they'll be 3 games under 500.
And they'll also be 3 games back of the Dodgers, with the Dodgers playing later tonight against San Diego.
But the move Houston's been making. Houston, nice little run. They've won 9 out of 10. 4 games off the pace in a wild card starting today, and then the other team that jumped out.
I think it's actually 12 out of 13 for those guys. They're playing really well.
And how about Toronto? They made a move too in the wild card race in the AL.
They've won 10 in a row.
It was last year at this time we kept looking up the boy. Colorado won again. Colorado won again.
Well, that's right. I forgot about that. Not this year. They've lost 3 in a row going into today. Looked like they were starting to make a little bit of a surge, and now they're falling back again.
Florida's beating Phillies 4-3 in the 8th. How about Billy Wagner done for this year and next year?
I saw that. It's terrible for him, and not good news for the organization.
It's not like you got another closer on the shelf that you can, hey, come on up. Ground ball, foul.
Exactly. Especially pitching in New York in a pennant race. All the pressure that comes with that, to just turn it over to somebody that hasn't been used to doing it, is a difficult thing.
And on top of that, the collapse that they had last year that the fans haven't gotten over. Bouncing ball. Messenger's got one play. Throws out a hustling Bird. One out. Hamilton moves up to second. Jim Riggleman's going to come out and get Messenger with Hank Blaylock coming up, left-handed hitter. Hank with a strikeout and a walk today and a run scored. So Woods will be the fourth pitcher for the Mariners this afternoon. We're in the sixth at Safeco. Glad you could join us. Mariners lead by 2. It's 4 Mariners. We're in the 6th inning here at Safeco Field. And Jake Woods is the new pitcher. Left-hander. Nissan shift to the bullpen, and he's got an important batter right here in Hank Blaylock. Represents a tying run. And no sooner said than we got a tie ball game. Goodness. First pitch. That is the third 2-run homer today by the Texas Rangers. Hank did not cheat himself on that swing. His 5th home run, an RBI count to 20.
Take a look at the swing of Blaylock. You can see Kenji wanted the pitch away. It looks like it was up. Breaking ball right in the middle of the plate. Blaylock's numbers are down this year because he's been injured, but that swing hasn't changed.
So Jake Woods throws one pitch and he's done. A 2-run homer. We got a 6-6 ball game. Roy Corcoran, 5th pitcher today for the Mariners, the 11th in the last 2 games. Fastball to Cruz in there for a strike. Nelson Cruz last time up in the 5th inning against against Jared Wells, beg your pardon. 2-run homer on an 0-1 pitch. These Rangers have 3 2-run homers today. And that home run by Blaylock against Jake Woods was his 2nd career home run against Jake. Blaylock now 4 for 9 with 2 home runs against the Mariner left-hander. Just joining us, this young man's home run, a towering fly ball to deep right center field. He hit it very high and had unbelievable carry, leaving the yard for his 4th home run. And the Shadows now have overtaken the batter's box. Line drive. Here comes Raul. He's right there. 2 outs. It's a relaxing day here. Temperature at first pitch 62 degrees. Rangers with 3 home runs today. Chris Davis. Rangers with 164 home runs. Chicago leads in the home run department, followed by Detroit. Well, what we see on the TV screen, is it darker than it really is?
It's the TV screen, the view?
Yeah, in terms of being down there coming with the pitcher coming out of the sunshine. Is that an exaggeration, or is that pretty accurate?
No, I'd say it's pretty accurate. And it's not that bad right now. It's when it gets all the way out off the dirt onto the grass to where you lose the last 10, 15 feet is when it gets really difficult. You can still see the pitcher okay and the ball coming out of his hand, but when it gets about halfway out to the mound, it's brutal. Man, there's nothing you can do about it. You know, all the ballparks.
Yeah, sometimes just guess, right?
Yep, sometimes you just have to guess. And you can see the ball, you just can't see the spin of it or how hard it's coming in.
Gets the outside corner. Full count. Woods. I think that Corcoran, the third pitcher this inning. Messenger, Woods, now Corcoran. Easy out for Lopez. And the Rangers are finally gone. They tack on 2 more. They tie it with their third 2-run homer, 6-6 ball game. Now that we get here, Dodge would tell us our Dodge game recap. Take you back to the 5th inning. Cruz, look at the towering drive there. Teagard hit a bullet. So 2 2-run homers in the 5th inning. Hank Blaylock, they got to him right through the wickets. And then Tuiasa Sopo comes up with a big RBI. Mariners put 2 on the board. And they regain the lead. But then in the 6th, with a man on, Jake Woods, first pitch, only pitch. Hank Blaylock gone. 2-run homer. And that tied it at 6-6. A 1-pitch day for Jake. Top of the order here in the 6th for the Mariners. Ichiro, Betancourt, and Ibanez. Ichiro with a couple of hits today, gives him 188. Closing in on 200 for the 8th consecutive year, tying with Willie Keeler. Big league record. Change 101. 33-year-old right-hander Kevin Millwood struck out 2, walked 2. Pitching into the 6th inning, Millwood is last time up as we look at Ichiro with 188 hits. Millwood lost his last game. That was against Boston 5 days ago. Prior to that, he'd won 3 consecutive games. And the left field line, foul ball. Mariners take off for the longest road trip of the year. Later on this afternoon, to the Angels, the Royals, and Oakland. Our Mariners calendar brought to you by Sleep Country USA.
4-game sets are unusual, and to have them back to back, really strange.
He's hit for Ichiro, 3rd of the day. Just hope that the wonderful barbecue outlets in Kansas City, I hope they've been forewarned that the Mariners are coming to town.
I don't think they have to worry too much about the Mariners. I think it's more the broadcasters that they need to be concerned about.
The herd will be in jeopardy. Here's Betancourt. Long at bat last time up. Pitch at bat. Ichiro gets back.
Ichiro stole a base back in the 1st, and Teagard threw the ball in the center field. That'd be a bad idea to try it again.
Fouled back. So Millwood, that was pitch number 100 in this 6-6 ball game. 6th inning. Mariner pitching. Held Texas off the board through the first 4 innings, but 5th inning, Rangers put up a 4 spot and then a 2 in the 6th inning. Here's the 1-1. Misses. Cameron Lowe's up for the 2nd time. Down the line, foul. Boy, Hank Blaylock. Been a heck of a day for him. One through the wickets, one bounced off of them. So the Angels have won, taking out the Yankees 4-2, and they're in the clubhouse watching this ball game now, rooting for the Mariners to beat Texas, and that would clinch the division title for the Angels. Brendan Morrow against Jared Weaver tomorrow, and it'll be interesting to see what lineup that Mike Scioscia will run out there tomorrow if they're popping champagne corks later on this afternoon. Back up the middle, base hit.
I think watching Scioscia manage that club, I would suspect that maybe a guy or two will be out of the lineup, but for the most part, I don't think you're going to see a bunch of guys not playing tomorrow because they clinched it today. Maybe some of the guys that are hurting a little bit as Ron Washington walks out to the mound.
Watch Ron's long, slow walk. That means Millwood's done with 2 men on here in the 6th, a 6-6 ball game. Going to go to his bullpen. Cameron Lowe up for the 2nd time. And Millwood hands the ball out to the skipper. Pitching change. Tell you about it when we return. 6-6 is the score here at Safeco Field. Mariners have 2 on here in the 6th inning. Kevin Millwood's done for today. 5+, 11 hits. 6 runs, couple of walks, couple of strikeouts, 103 pitches. 2 runners on base, his responsibility. And the new pitcher's Cameron Lowe in his 11th appearance. On sitting just under 300 against 10. Cameron Lowe, 6'7", 240 pounds. Born in Simi Valley, California, lives in Dallas. Been up and down with the ball club since 2004. Been mainly a starter. Was a 23-game starter last year. Went 6-11. Here's Ibanez. All 6 for 16 against Cameron Lowe. Ibanez today flied out to left. RBI double in the 3rd, and a bad hop 2-base hit off of the first baseman, Hank Blaylock. Ball's got a favorable count, couple of men on.
Looking down at Ron Washington. He's probably thinking the same thing that you were talking about earlier with Nolan Ryan, trying to make some adjustments to the pitching staff, and he's looking out. Bullpen has been an issue for him this year.
Popped up. Just out of Davis's reach.
It looked like he misjudged it. A little further behind him than he thought. Take a look at it. Reaching up. Yeah,
Came back to him.
Yeah, he ended up getting too close to the wall. Raul catches a break.
Well, the shadow's becoming more and more of an issue. You were just talking about halfway. It'll be halfway in another few minutes. The distance between home plate and the mound. Two-1. We win. Could not check a swing. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cesar Jimenez started this game. 3 strong innings, 1 hit ball. Bullpen has not been as exacting. 2-2. Almost hit the runner by Blaylock. Coming around Ichiro. He's going to score easily. Here's a throw to 3rd, and in safely is Betancourt. So another RBI for Raul Ibanez, his 2nd of the day. That gives him 104 for the season.
Seems like Raul's always a big part of the offense for this club. And he's 4th in the league in RBIs. Nice job by Bedcourt, wanting to stay out of the way of it. It almost hit him. But then typically when you see a runner do that where he has to pause and wait for the ball to get by him, they won't even try to go to third. Bedcourt makes it into third base. Makes things a little bit easier for Lopez. Rangers will play their infield back. Give up a run on a ground ball.
Texas Rangers in town. We got a slugfest in progress. 6th inning, 7-6. Two teams have combined for 13 runs, 18 hits. 2 errors in the game, both by the Texas Rangers. Ball to strike to Lopez. Outstanding year for this young man. Got a piece of it. No second half fade for Lopez. Something that's bothered him the last couple of years. Bedcourt's at third. Bunya's at first. 2 RBI day for Bunya's. Chojum has driven in 2. Here's the 1-2 to Lopez. Breaking ball.
Now is about the time that the shadows are getting tough. See Lopez, that's actually a hanging breaking ball, and he barely was able to get a piece of it.
One and two. Lopez just 3 for 13 against Cameron Lowe. All important runners in scoring position. Numbers. Swing and a miss. Lopez goes down, 1 out. 1 out here in the 6th. Now's the time to start planning your holiday party. Safeco Field is a unique venue that everyone will enjoy. The ballpark, you know, it can host groups from 10 people to as many as 40,000 and offers gourmet catering. You can also customize your event to fit your needs. For more information, call 206-346-4428 or visit mariners.com/events. I want to see the guy that throws a party for 40,000.
Oh. That was a nice job by Jeremy. Mariners trying to squeeze play, and that ball was up and away. Jeremy almost looked like he almost stepped across the plate just trying to get a piece of it. Yep, did a nice job.
Riggleman likes to squeeze. You can't step on a plate because that's an out.
No, Jeremy didn't do. That's why it was good. You can get your foot right up next to the plate, and then he just leans out over, but you can't go across it.
1 out, runners at the corners for Jeremy Reed. 1-for-3 day. Raul Ibanez got a big lead. Bedcourt's at third. Ground ball, Blaylock. They got Bedcourt hung up.
He almost threw it away.
Sure enough, Laird chasing back, and Uni will give himself up as Raul takes third, and going all the way to second is Jeremy Reed. So 2 down. So Uni 3-5-2, second out. Ibanez the third, Reed to second. So an opportunity for Ballantine. Got a base hit to left back in the 5th inning. 1 for 2. The run scored. know against the Texas Rangers, you better cash in as many times as possible. First time Balancine is facing Cameron Lowe. Balancine, the 6th hitter in the inning for the Mariners. 7-6 Seattle. That's an impressive stat there for Vladimir. Should get something good here to hit. 2-0. Knee buckler.
Again, it's the shadows. Well, that's a pretty good breaking ball, but it shouldn't be buckling the hitters up there, and you can't see it. You just see the ball come out of the hand, and it's at you. That little bit of a flinch.
Put him on. Get to Tuiasosopo. So a chance for Locoboy to make good here with the bases loaded, 2 outs. There's Matt Tuiasosopo.
Having a good day so far. He's 2 for 2. Has an RBI.
Tui talked about his success using the entire field second half of the season at Tacoma. That's what he does against Cameron Lowe. First time he's facing him. Lowe coming right after him with a fastball. There are your runners. Banez, Reed, and Balancine. For strike, breaking ball. There's Tracer measuring at the front plane. Ball's crossing. Cameron Lowe, boy, he's really coming downhill at you at 6'7". Ball and 2 strikes. Matt Tuiasosopo. Adrian Beltre with a day off. Gets an MRI in his left thumb yesterday. Here's the 1-2. They stay off it. Lowe got ahead. Fastball and a breaking ball. It's 2-2 now with 2 outs, bases loaded. Mariners have scored in every inning but the 4th. Two and 2. Off the fist to Michael Young. Flips across. Tui is retired. That'll do it. Raul Ibanez drives in yet another run for the Mariners. It's a 7-6 Seattle lead. This is brought to you by Suzuki Automotive and the all-wheel drive SX4 crossover. And by your Western Washington Toyota dealers. Visit Toyota.com today. Beautiful day here at the ballpark. 7th inning action. Mariners have a 7-6 lead. They've scored in every inning but the 4th. Raul Ibanez has driven in 2. Kenji Jojima has knocked in 2. Here's Roy Corcoran. Got the last 2 outs of the 6th inning. We'll face Taylor Teagarden, Gerald Laird, and Herman Duran. 9-1-2 in Texas order.
Here's a line on Kevin Millwood. 5+ innings, 11 hits, 7 runs, 5 home runs, 2 walks, and 1 hit batter.
Here's a strike. Kevin Millwood's line is complete now. Gave up 7 runs, 5 earned, 11 hits, 5+ innings, 2 balls, 2 walks and 2 strikes, strikeouts. Two balls and a strike to Taylor Teagarden. Same count he had last time up. He had a 2-run homer. That was in the 5th inning. Two and two. Misses away. Brendan Morrow goes tomorrow. We'll see Ryan Rowland-Smith, Ryan Fearman, and Felix Hernandez in L.A. in Anaheim against the Angels. Against Thomas getting ready. Left-hander. Teagarden gets into this one. Valentine watches it one hop off the fence. Seen that kid have some really good at bats.
He hits the ball hard. I mean, it seems like it anyways. We saw him in Texas and now here. Already seen a home run today, and this is just a line drive. Certainly don't want to fall behind and throw fastballs to him.
Nope, he can hit it. Hit 3 runs knocked in last night. First inning, second inning single, and a 2-run double in the 5th last evening. So he is wearing out the Mariners.
We'll see how Ron Washington wants to play it. They are down a run here in the 7th inning.
Laird, their everyday catcher, in the leadoff spot, DHing today. Gerald dropped down a bunt his last time. Ball and a strike. Not every day you see a catcher drop one down, drop a bunt down the third baseline and beat it out pretty easily. Ball and 2 strikes. Well, we welcome all the fans down at the Big A watching this Mariners game here on the big screen, hoping for a Mariner win over these Texas Rangers to make it official and clinch the American League West Division for the Angels. I'm Dave Sims with Mike Flowers up here on a beautiful day in Seattle. Say hello to all your fans down in Southern California, Mike.
I can tell them this: the Rangers so far today only have 7 hits, but 4 for extra bases, 3 home runs and a double.
These guys swing the bats. 2 and 2. Mariners today started the bullpen court. They got 3 really good innings from Cesar Jimenez. Been dicey since then. Wells, Messenger, Woods. Corcoran trying to get out of stickiness right now. 3 and 2 to Laird. He's aboard.
Thomas and Batista are down the Mariner pen now, getting loose.
First 2 men have reached here in the 7th. Bring up the second baseman, Herman Duran. Michael Young, Josh Hamilton, Marlon Byrd, and Hank Blaylock to follow. First walk issued by Corcoran. Corcoran, a ground ball pitcher. Mariners looking for a double play in the infield.
Oh, we're going to be looking at a bunt here.
Once laid down, Kenji checks third. Throw over to Lopez. Sacrifice executed by Durant. So 1 out, runners move up. Just out by Duran. With the sacrifice, his 5th of the year. Duran playing in place of Ian Kinsler, who had a spectacular year before he went down with a sports hernia. See how the shadows are affecting things here at Safeco Field. Here's Michael Young.
I think Jim Riggleman would like to see Roy get Young out, even if he hits a ground ball, to play the infield back to tie the game up. Then it gives him an opportunity to put Hamilton on if he wants to keep his righty-righty matchup. Jeff Bird hitting after him. Hamilton, of course, leading the league in RBIs.
Big hack. 1-1. Michael Young 0 for 3 today. Corcoran. And his previous encounters with Young's 0 for 2 against him. Teagarden at third, Laird at second. Don't forget, Laird runs well. Two and one to the All-Star shortstop Michael Young. Making it 3-1 with Josh Hamilton on deck. Hamilton's walked twice today. Scored a run. He's 0 for 1.
Roy thought he threw a pretty good pitch, tried a slider outside. Home plate umpire Brian Knight thought it was off the plate. Roy, I think, disagreed with him.
Beat Young with that pitch, 3-2.
See Joe's tracer where the pitches are.
Rangers silent through the first 4 innings. 4 runs in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, bidding for more here. Swing and a miss, and down goes Michael Young. That's a big strikeout. 2 down here in the 7th.
Well, now we'll see what Jim Riggleman wants to do. We have 2 outs with first base open. Take a look at this last pitch by Roy. Nice pitch. 2-seam fastball, start off the plate away. You can see Young looked like he was just trying to get it out of there. Really good pitch by Roy. And they will put him on.
Third time Hamilton's walked this afternoon. Walked twice last evening. So Marlon Byrd's the guy they want to get out. Marlon Byrd's 0 for 1 against Roy Corcoran. A bases loaded situation for Marlon Byrd.
Makes such a big difference for the Rangers not having Milton Bradley hitting behind Hamilton, because you can't get the match at Bradley, a switch hitter, having a tremendous year. Ended up hurting his back yesterday, had to come out of the game on his first swing of the game.
Marlon Byrd has a grand slam against the Yankees August 4th. That was a game winner in Texas. He didn't like that call by Brian Knight. Corcoran will take it. Two outs, bases loaded. One and one. Evens things up a little bit. 1-1 from Corky. Topped. Betancourt throws him out. Nice escape work by Roy Corcoran. Gets out of a dicey bases loaded situation. 7-6 Mariners.
Stretch is sponsored by Dino Rossi for governor, a governor who will fix some problems for a change.
7th inning here at Safeco Field. Mariners holding a 1-run lead. They'll send up the 8, 9, and 1 hitters in the 7th inning. Jojima, Cairo, and Ichiro. Kenji with a 2-run single back in the 2nd inning. Goes against Cameron Lowe. Lowe came on to relieve starter Kevin Millwood. 3rd hitter into the 6th inning. Oh, 1 to Kenji. Mariners lead off. Batters are reaching every inning. Mariners done a good job taking advantage of opportunities. They've scored 5 of the 6 innings this afternoon. Kenji puts a charge into it. Stay fair. Nope, it doesn't.
It's the 3rd or 4th ball Kenji's hit hard that's been foul today. They keep trying to pitch him inside. And what the Mariners have done a nice job of too is every time the Rangers have tied it up, they've come back and taken the lead the next inning. I'd like to see them add to their lead now.
Got to do it against these guys. Duran catch. 1 out. Seahawks All Access. It takes the field tonight on FSN. Going to go one-on-one with linebacker Julian Peterson. Preview the Hawks' upcoming game this Sunday against the San Francisco 49ers. Seahawks All Access tonight at 6:30 and at 10 right here on FSN. Well, they've had to make some changes, additions to their receiving corps, which is just decimated by injuries. Let's see if the boys get a bounce back against the Niners after thrashing they took at Buffalo. Cairo 0 for 3, struck out looking back in the 5th. Good hold up. Two RBI day for Raul Ibanez, Kenji Jojima. Tuyasa Sopo's driven in a run, and so is Betancourt. Things even up once the pitcher's totally in shadow.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That might take a while with Lowe out there. How tall is he?
He's 6'7", every bit too. 6'7", 240. Well, before they reduced the mound, the height of the mound was that after the '68 season. They had a guy 6'7", another 3-4 inches up in there. That's not good for a hitter. Breaking ball beats Cairo. Low with his 2nd strikeout. 2 outs. Top of the order. Here's Ichiro. 3-hit day. 189 on the season. Ichiro.
Boston and Tampa Bay just getting underway. Boston a game and a half back of the Rays.
What a win for the Rays last night. Beat Papelbon on a home run, couple of doubles, top of the 9th. looking at a couple of National League scores. Florida takes out Philadelphia 7-3. The Mets and Washington just getting underway. And the Mets starting today with a 2.5 game lead over the Phillies. Young, nice snare. Can't throw out Ichiro. A 4-hit day. .190 on the year.
Well, Young was playing over in the hole, and this one's back up the middle. Right about this point, you may as well lead it with Ichiro running. No chance to get him. See the 2 outs. See if he wants to steal another base. He stole a base back in the first. Good time for him to go. The Mariners a chance to score another run with 2 outs.
Betancourt singled back through the box. It was the last hitter faced by Kevin Millwood, the starter, in the 6th inning. It's the 24th pitch seen by Betancourt today. That's a base hit. Ichiro a hold up. A little action with 2 outs here by the Mariners. Bring up the big RBI producer. Raul Ibanez has driven in 2 already today. Raul's had hits in his last 3 at bats. He's 3 for 4.
And Raul with 104 RBIs. He's 4th in the league in that category.
Yuniesky Betancourt, 2 hits and as many at bats. See if Raul can make this his 4th hit in as many at bats. Breaking ball for strike. Joe's tracer. What was called? A little discrepancy, wouldn't you say? Here's the 0-1. He's behind in a heartbeat here. 0-2. Ibanez with that base hit against Lowe in the 6th inning. It was his 7th hit against Cameron. Ball with 2 strikes. Ibanez 7 for 16 against Cameron Lowe. Batista in the process of getting ready to enter this ball game. Well stroked center field, base hit for Raul Ibanez. Ichiro scores easily. Betancourt takes 3rd. 2-run lead for the Mariners. 8-6. Another RBI for Raul. 105 on the year.
He felt like Lowe just didn't want to throw Raul a fastball at all. He started him off with a bunch of breaking balls. Take a look at this last pitch. Right there, Raul hits it hard back up the middle. Thought maybe it had a chance to get through in the gap, but Hamilton with good speed is able to cut it off.
RBI for Ibanez is 3rd. Ichiro scored 3 times. Chance for Lopez for his 1st hit. Pick up an RBIs. Jose has grounded out 3 times and struck out once. The Angels are a Mariner win away from clinching, officially clinching, American League West Division. All right, there's your shadow check. As Lowe, everything but his feet.
It's getting a little bit better. Still not good. Mariners today are 4 for 18 with men in scoring position. They've had plenty of opportunities. Scored in every inning but the fourth.
On 2 strikes to Jose Lopez. He is gone. So Lopez strikes out for the 2nd time in a row. Mariners do put a run on the board. A 2-run cushion. Never enough against these Texas Rangers. We all know that. 7 in the books. 8-6 Mariners. Mariners lead the Rangers here in the series finale. Pac-10 football returns on FSN this Saturday. Big doubleheader action. The Cougars head to the Lone Star State to take on the Baylor Bears. And it's off to Beaver Nation as Oregon State takes on Hawaii. Start your day with college football Northwest this Saturday morning at 9 a.m. right here on FSN. 6th pitcher today, 12th in the last 2 games. Here's Miguel Batista. Menez, Wells, Messenger, Woods, Corcoran, and now Miguel Batista. Corcoran went an inning at 2/3. A couple of walks, a strikeout, and gave up just 1 hit.
September has to be great for our managers. You mentioned 6 pitchers in the game tonight. And Jim Riggleman still has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pitchers left if he wants to go to the bullpen some more. So there's all kinds of options and matchups that he can go to.
He's got Green still out there, right? Who else is out there?
He has Green, Lowe, JJ,
Yep.
R.A. Dickey, and Thomas, the left-hander.
Not bad. Here's Hank Blaylock to lead it off in the 8th. Batista throwing hard, 94 miles an hour.
Blaylock hit a 2-run home run his last time up.
2 walks, 1 missing pitch.
Cairo will win that race. 1 out in the 8th. Ranger runs have come on 3 2-run homers. 5th inning, Cruz hit a 2-run. Oh man, he hit it way up in the air to deep right center field. And then 2 hitters later, Taylor Teagarden hit a bullet left field stands. 6th inning, Jake Woods came on, 1 pitch, 2-run homer to Blaylock. Strength of this ball club, hitting, it's unreal. 2nd in average. It just tickles me every time I look at this. All 2s and 1s and 3s when you look
Across the board, offensively, yes.
It's insane. And you'd love for to have your ball club to have these kind of numbers. Conversely, the pitching numbers of 13, 14, 12, 13, 14.
Well, but you look at their offense too today. The bottom of the order was done all the damage. Last 4 guys.
How about Cruz? Punched out on 3 pitches. Batista coming in dealing. 2 outs. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Rangers are #1 in 6 offensive categories. 7 kind of sluggy. You can see that one. Here's Davis, the 3rd baseman. 1 for 3 day. Go with a couple of really good fastballs and off speed stuff. They're not close. He's filled several roles this year. Starter, closer, middle guy.
He's dealt with his fair share of injuries this year too. His groin and his back. He's had some problems with his health.
I'll tell you what, I'll salute him for that. You know, he's manned up. I mean, he hadn't always been the sharpest, but he's made himself at least available.
He hasn't turned the ball down at all, that's for sure. You're talking about the Rangers and their offense too. You know, it's one of the things, you know, when you're playing that you just don't want to walk too many guys. We mentioned 2-run homers, 3 of them today. Well, 2 of them are 2-run homers because there were face-on balls ahead of them. These guys can do some damage in a hurry. JJ's starting to get loose out in the pen.
Here's a 3-2 to Davis. Much better tempo, body language, and just general overall feeling ball club today. Last night, 3 hours and 8 minutes, lackluster. Felix didn't have it. We'll get out of play. Felix last night, ineffective performance, 4 1/3 of 6 hits, 6 runs all earned, 4 walks, 3 Ks, hit 3 batters. 3-2 pitch. Wow, there's another drive. Deep right field. Chris Davis has left the yard. Wow. That is the 4th home run hit by the Rangers today. That is his 15th home run. 43rd RBI. Got it on a 3-2 pitch. Ichiro barely moved.
Miguel staying with his fastball. See the swing of Davis. Another high towering home run off the cafe out in right field.
Hit it there, he did. Down to a 1-run ball game. Teagarden, we've seen this guy smack the ball around hard twice today. 2-run homer in the 5th. Hard double. Center field in the 8th. Could not check his swing. Batista can put him away. Yes! He does. He gives up a solo home run. Mariners still have the lead. This power-laden Texas ball club has hit 4 home runs today. Taking in a ball game today, at least they did. They're done 8-7. They're happy with the Mariners leading, but it's not over yet. Big series upcoming for the Mariners. Seattle heading to Southern California to take on the Angels. Currently sitting atop the American League West by a large margin in the entire American League. We're going to join you tomorrow night, 6:30 from Angel Stadium of Anaheim, right here on FSN and FSN HD. Brendan Morrow, Jared Weaver, the starters for tomorrow night. Josh Roop, 3rd pitcher today for Texas. Last week in Texas, if you look at Roop's numbers, his 41st ball game. Roop got beaten around pretty badly on Monday, September 1st, an inning in the 3rd, 5 hits, 3 runs all earned. It was in a 12-6 Mariner win. That was the first of 3 down in Texas. That was the last visit for the Mariners to Texas. Jeremy Reed to lead it off. Reed, Valentina, Tuiasa, Sopa. Rick one.
2 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run. 1 walk.
Pitch to Reed, misses.
innings pitched.
Jeremy Reed, couple of runs scored today.
1 walk was intentional. 3 strikeouts for low.
2 balls and a strike. 3 RBI day for Raul Ibanez. Benjamin has driven in 2. So Reed leading off the 8th inning. 3-1 count. Valentine's on deck. Full count. So Jeff Clement before the game had knee surgery recently. Won't be able to really do any squatting in terms of catching until January. Got some nice rehab in front of him.
I think they wanted him to go to the fall league and work on some things, but it doesn't look like that's going to be possible.
Davis bare hands.
Nice play.
So it was 1 out. Yeah. Chris Davis with a big solo home run. Top the 8th inning. Here comes Valentine. Walked twice, base hit, and a run scored. Good looking box score here for the Mariners. Jose Lopez has had a great year. He and Miguel Cairo yet to check in.
Story today offensively for the Mariners has been Ichiro and Raul Ibanez, both of them with 4 hits.
Big swing and a miss. Jay Putz getting ready. Breaking ball.
An interesting winter to watch Raul and what's going on with him, who's going to be a free agent at the end of the year.
Boy, that is a big question. Does he want to come back? Does he want to go to a contender? What's he going to do? Fly ball. Hamilton shading. Makes the catch. Certainly Raul with the 3 RBIs today that's 105. He's got 23 home runs.
Hitting over, I don't know, he's got to be hitting around 310 now.
Easily.
With the 4-hit game.
And, he's to his left with the glasses on his cap. That's Jose Castro. I read these comments the other day where he said Jose Castro was the best hitting coach he'd ever had. Certainly reflected second half hitting by the Mariners by the ball club. It's picked up considerably. Turns Beauty into a guy who will take some pitches too. It's almost like a soap opera. Not only will Raul return, but what about the rest of the Mariners and how many? Join with us now as we get ready for the Hot Stove League.
Well, I think every club that's out of contention is having those conversations.
1-2 to Sopo.
And the Mariners are going to continue to play a lot of the younger guys to figure out what it is that they want to do.
Ball and 2 strikes. You check. He did. Randy Marsh down at first. Eighth inning, 2 outs, 2-2 to Tui. Once they get a general manager on board, that interviewing, that vetting process, that's going to be interesting. And here we are. Today is what, September 10th. We get down to decision-making time. I figure maybe before the World Series, that decision will be made, and then everything goes from there.
Unless there's some people they want to talk to that are still
involved.
playing.
Correct.
Then you have to wait it out.
By the way, updated batting averages, 4 hit days for Ichiro and Ibanez. Ichiro up to 313. Ibanez right on the money. Mike 310. Here's a 3-2 to two-way swing and a miss. He's gone. They're going to bring on J.J. Putz. 1-run Mariner lead. J.J. 12 out of 20 in save opportunities, and he'll get to go against the top of the order for the Texas Rangers. Mariners trying to get a win here in this series. This two-gamer with the Texas Rangers. They bring on the big guy J.J. Putz. 12 out of 20 in save opportunities this year. You know his story. A couple of times on the DL this year. Dominating pitcher last year. 40 of 42 save opportunities, and I tell you what, he's going to get tested right here. Top of the order for these Texas Rangers: Laird, Duran, and Young.
They actually have Vasquez has come out on deck to hit for Duran.
And Vasquez is a guy that has JJ's number. Vasquez is 2 for 4 against JJ with a home run. It was a big home run last year, and I think it's a middle trip we had to Texas. Won a ball game for the Rangers, and Vasquez did a lot of damage to the Mariners earlier this year. Strike one to Laird.
I think the last 2 or 3 times that JJ has been out there is when he's really looked like he's finally back and healthy. His fastball's consistently been around 96 miles an hour. Better breaking ball.
Swing and a miss. Good heat at 96. If you're playing just in case, Sean Green. He's got Laird 0-2. JJ is the 7th pitcher today. He's by Jim Riegel. That was a defensive swing.
Another 96 mile an hour fastball, probably borderline up. You can see the pitch.
All in 2 strikes to Gerald Laird. Down in Southern California, the Angels 3 outs away from their 7th title and 8th playoff appearance. Ichiro takes a look. JJ full strength for next year. All this DL stuff. Keep him healthy. So a 2 to Laird.
See Vasquez standing on deck. Laird's done a nice job. He's worked the count back to full. He's just thrown all fastballs, and as you can see, all of them up in the zone.
Here we go, 3-2. Bouncing ball, Lopez. One out. We get a chance to see Brandon Morrow go against the Angels tomorrow night down in Anaheim. Well, here is the pinch hitter, Ramon Vasquez, and He is a villain in the Puts household. A 2 for 4 and a home run. And we welcome in our viewers down in the Los Angeles area. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers here in Seattle. Been a slugfest here today. 8-7 Mariners. There's a pitch right there to Vasquez. He couldn't get it. 4 home runs hit today by these Texas Rangers. 3 2-run homers and a solo shot by Chris Davis. 4-hit day for Raul Ibanez. He's driven in 3. Ichiro with 4 hits. Kenji Jojima with 2 RBIs. A lot of offensive firepower this afternoon. Angels and their fans hoping for a Mariner win here. Clinch the 7th division title. JJ's ahead 0-2.
I think JJ feels pretty good about his fastball. You can see the last one was 97 miles an hour. That's all he's thrown so far. And he's throwing those pitches up in the zone. Tough for hitters to catch up to if he's going to throw it at the top of the strike zone.
Vasquez, as you can see, has done more than enough damage against the Mariners this year. Here's the 0-2. Last time the Mariners had 2 hitters with 4 base knocks in a game was September of 06. September 25th against Oakland. It was Ibanez and Richie Sexton. Today it's Ibanez and Ichiro. 1-2 to Vasquez. Mariners will be taking on the Angels. 4-game series starting tomorrow. Right now, business at hand, 2-2. Tuiasosopo bobbles, throws across. Vasquez was not going down the line hard. 2 outs.
What a break for the Mariners. I think Vasquez thought that Tuiasosopo caught the ball because he stopped. And by the time he realized what was going on, I mean, Ichiro had to take, what, 2 steps away from the base to catch it and go back and touch the base. But take a look at it. Vasquez hits a line drive. I think he thought it was caught. That's exactly what happened. And now he realizes what's going on too late. He's out. So the Mariners catch a little bit of a break. I think if he runs hard, he has a real good chance of beating that out.
The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim are 1 out away from their 7th division title, 8th playoff appearance. 2 outs here in Seattle. Here's Michael Young in a 1-run game. Strike 1 poured in by J.J. Putz.
His first breaking ball J.J. has thrown.
5 for 21. Michael Young numbers against J.J. Putz. Well, that had a lot of bite on it. It was out of the zone, 1-1. Mariners will be taking off for Southern California after the game. Mariners are 4-7 against the Angels. Next 4 days taking on the Angels, and then there's 4-game series back here in a couple of weeks. Here's the 1-1. Mariner fans wanted that pitch. 2 balls and a strike. 23,644 taking in some day baseball. The 2-1 to Young. 2-2.
It's another good pitch by JJ. Again, his fastball 97, 98 miles an hour now at the top of the hill. It's tough for a hitter to try to catch up to, but JJ needed to throw a strike. Didn't want to go to 3-1 with Young just because he had Hamilton standing over on deck. The get this game over and not give Hamilton a chance to get a swing off.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. J.J. puts the pitch to Michael Young. Down low. Mariners shade Young a little bit towards right center with Valentine out there. Here we go. The 3-2 pitch. 8-7 Mariners. Got him looking. Game over. Mariners win it 8-7. And congratulations to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. They've just clinched their 7th division title. And they're headed to their 8th playoff appearance as the Mariners take out the Texas Rangers by the final of 8-7. They do it in 3 hours and 11 minutes as J.J. Putz picks up the save. Roy Kirk